Anyways, let's get started without any further ado. Before I start, a quick formal introduction on my name is Mohammed Shoaib. I'm a cybersecurity trainer certified from PC Council. Okay, and I teach courses such as certified ethical hacking, web application pen testing, SOC testing, security operations centers, and so on. Okay, our session today is going to be on a demo of certified ethical hacking version, the latest version of the course from EC Council. This is the course taken up by students who are completely new to the cybersecurity domain. Okay, so people who want to enter into cybersecurity or want to refresh the core foundational concepts of cybersecurity, they join the CH course. Okay. And before I start, this is a common question that I ask all the students. According to you, in your perspective, what do you think hacking is? Again, guys, just to know what your perspective is. Other than that, nothing else. Okay. So can you explain me in your own words, what do you think hacking is? Anyone? Salman or Debashish?
No, sir. I am not belonging from this IT sector.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
Salman, you work in which sector though?
No, sir. I am belonging from mechanical sector. I'm switching my career into IT.
Okay, into IT. And you have never heard the term hacking or ethical hacking, anything? You might have heard about hacking.
I know.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not asking very definitive answers, Salman. Just whatever comes to your mind. You might have heard something like hacking, right? So in your terms, what do you think hacking is?
Hacking means hack some websites like
get access
and server.
Right, getting access to servers and getting access to websites and stuff. Okay. Debashish, any answers on your end? I hope you can hear me, Debashish. Hello. Hello. Okay. Anyways, guys, just to define hacking, again, Salman, you have given a completely right answer. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay. Trying to get access to a web server or trying to get access to a web application in the backend, that is completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But just to build up on the words that you have mentioned, if I define it out, hacking is nothing but the process of trying to gain access to information systems. Okay. So when you talk about gaining access, this is nothing but trying to get access to the data of those information systems. These information systems could be anything, just like you have mentioned. They could be web servers, or they could be databases, or they could be as small as mobile devices also. Okay, so whatever information device it be or information system it be, hacker tries to gain access to the information inside that system. Okay, and this is done without the permission. Okay, so the person owning that system does not know that someone is trying to get access to their data. Okay, and this is usually performed by hackers for their own benefit. Once they get access to that information, they can steal the data, destroy the data, or just sell that data on the dark web, okay, for their own financial benefit. Now, hacking, according to the definition which I have mentioned, seems to be a very illegal job, right? It is criminalistic. Okay. Now, if you have such a illegal job, why are we learning something called ethical hacking? And how can it be ethical? Is the second question. Okay, because ethical is something which is abiding by the laws, which is completely legal and which is allowed. Okay, if hacking is such a criminal job, how could it be ethical? That's the second question, right? So therefore, when we talk about ethical hacking, on the other hand, this is the process of trying to find vulnerabilities. Now, a vulnerability is nothing but a loophole, a weakness. That weakness is what the hacker uses to get access to the information systems. So your job in ethical hacking would be to find that loophole, find that weakness, which is being utilized by the hackers. And this is done with the permission of the organization. So you take permission from the organization. Organization gives you a set of rules and policies, which you will abide by. And then you try to find the vulnerabilities. Once a vulnerability is found, once you find the weakness or the door through which hacker is getting access, you try to shut down that door. Okay, you try to close that. That is known as patch management. Okay, so your job as an ethical hacker would be to try to find the vulnerabilities and report them to the organization. And the organization will apply the patches. Once the patch is applied, the vulnerability is closed. And that is how you increase the security of the infrastructure. Okay, you're closing the vulnerability, thereby preventing hackers from gaining access to information systems. And that is known as ethical hacking. Okay, you're working for the betterment of the security of the organization rather than causing any harm. This is clear, guys, what is hacking and what is ethical hacking and how they are different. Salman and Debashish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Now, depending on these two terms, we can categorize the various types of hackers. So there's someone known as a black hat hacker, there's someone known as a gray hat hacker, and then finally there's someone known as a white hat hacker. Okay, a black hat hacker is someone who performs hacking for his own benefit, just like we've seen in the previous case. Then on the other hand, the hero of the story is the white hat hacker who performs hacking by abiding by the laws and policies of the organization to increase the security, okay, of the organization. In between, there's a gray hat hacker who has both the qualities of a black hat as well as a white hat hacker. Okay, these are freelancers who perform hacking for their own benefit. Okay, so once they get access to an information system, once they get access to a vulnerability, they don't misuse it. They don't take advantage of it. They report the vulnerability back. Okay, they don't take permission, but once they find a vulnerability, they report it back for a bounty. Okay, that bounty would be anything, a reward from the organization mentioned in the Hall of Fame, or anything which benefits them. Okay, so these are the different types of hackers. There's a black hat hacker who's completely wrong, who doesn't ask for permission and takes advantage of the vulnerability. On the other hand, there's white hat hacker who's completely right. I mean, he does not take advantage. He does it for the increase in the security of the organization. In between, there's a gray hat hacker who does not ask for permission, but once he gets a vulnerability, okay, so this step is known as hacking cycle or cyber kill chain. So these steps are followed by any kind of hacker, and the reason why they're followed in the systematic order is so that the process is a lot simpler and the probability of gaining success through hacking is achievable. Okay, and again, whatever organization you take or whatever institute you take, they teach you the same 5 steps. Okay, so the first step of hacking or ethical hacking is known as information gathering. It can also be called as reconnaissance or footprinting. Okay. Second step is known as scanning, and this can also be called as enumeration. Okay. Third step is known as gaining access. Fourth step is maintaining access. Fifth step is reporting or clearing access. Now, these might sound a bit very technical, but let me explain this in simple format, a much more brief and explanative format, so that you can understand what are these different steps and how are they going to help us. Okay. Before I proceed further, before I dive into these steps, any questions or doubts up to this part, guys? Salman, Dabshish. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yeah.
Gray hat hacking means what? Means it is a good person or bad person?
Gray hat guys are also good people only, but the thing is they don't ask for permission. A white hat hacker will always ask for permission from the
permission
before testing.
Okay, sir.
A gray hat hacker does not ask. Like a black hat hacker, he will not ask for permission. But once he finds a vulnerability, he reports it back to the organization. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Now, whatever hackers they are, they perform hacking or ethical hacking in the same number of steps. Okay, 5 steps. The reason why I've mentioned "or" over here specifically is because this is where it makes all the difference between a gray hat or a white hat hacker and a black hat hacker. Okay, a white hat hacker or a gray hat hacker would try to report in the end to find all the steps he has taken or whatever vulnerabilities he found. A black hat hacker will not report. He'll try to remove all the evidences, okay, which is known as clearing traces. Let us briefly discuss each of these steps so that you get a clear picture of what we're trying to learn in the course. Okay, so the first step, one second. So the first step is information gathering. Now, as the name itself suggests, information gathering is nothing but trying to gain as much information as possible about the target. Okay, so you could ask me, sir, what kind of information are we trying to gain over here? And this is the information as follows. So whatever organization it be or whatever person target it be, you try to gain information such as their IP address information or their whois records, DNS records, the employee details such as their contact numbers, their email addresses, their usernames and passwords if they are disclosed anywhere, the operating system information, what operating system they are using, and the domain name and the subdomain. Now, might sound a bit technical, guys, but these are the various kinds of information that a hacker or an ethical hacker would need to try to attack any target organization or a target system. Okay, and this information is readily available for a hacker or an ethical hacker to be obtained from the internet. So all this information is gained from third-party sources, from other third-party organizations, rather than contacting the direct organization. So if I give you an example, so let's say if I wanted to find the email addresses of any organization's employees, all I have to do is I have to go to the browser and not the browser first. And I would search for a website like hunter.io. Okay, this is a website which is capable of giving you the email addresses of any organization's employees. So if I search for wipro.com, let's say, again, if I click on find email address, this is going to give me the working email addresses of all the employees of Wipro. And it also tells you what job role they are working as: solution architect, client and technology partner, practice lead, senior manager, marketing head, finance manager. And you can notice I've got their email addresses directly. Okay, and these email addresses can be used by the hacker to perform phishing attacks. Okay, sending fake emails or getting credentials from fake login pages and so on. Okay, so it's as simple as that, getting email addresses or any other kind of information from the internet. But the thing is, you need that proper resources from where you can get about it. Okay, I'm pretty sure no one has heard about this website until now previously. Okay, so there are such resources, such golden mines on the internet from where you can get such information about any target, whether it be email addresses or their their operating system information or their DNS server information, the organization's IP addresses, or the whole complete network map of the organization. Every single information is available on the internet. It's just that you need to know the correct resources from where you can get this information. Okay. Now, how do you use it depends on you. If you're a white hat hacker, you would use it for a financial, for a proper benefit of the organization. If you're a black hat hacker, you would use it for your own benefit. Okay. So proceeding further. Now, after information gathering, the second step is scanning, where you try to make active connections with the target. Okay, so in information gathering, you just explain you in a very much more simpler format. In information gathering, you try to get information from third-party sources, from other different organizations, or from different websites. In scanning, you get information directly from the organization. Okay, so you try to perform scanning where you use some specific tools like Nmap and Nessus, and you try to send packets to the organization. And in response to those packets, you get some extra information, which you could not get in the information gathering part. So when we talk about scanning, as it has mentioned over here, trying to gain much more information about the target by making active connections, okay, direct connections with the organization. And there are three types of scanning. There's network scanning, port scanning, and vulnerability scanning. In network scanning, from our device, we'll send packets to the organization's server, and through that, we try to figure out, okay, in their network, what all active devices are available. Okay, then in port scanning, in those active devices, you'll try to figure out what ports are open and what applications are running. Okay, in vulnerability scanning, you try to find the vulnerabilities in those applications or the services running. So it's a step-by-step procedure, guys. So it might be a bit technical to understand right now, but to just give you a brief picture, you'll be using a very important tool like Nessus. Nessus is a tool which is available from the internet. Okay, this is a paid tool, guys, which is used in organizations in real-time scenario. Okay, and when you try to purchase this tool, this is around $3,000 or so. This is used in organizations. So you don't need to purchase this tool because there's a free trial version as well. Okay. And in our class, we'll be learning on the trial version, and I'll show you how to use this Nessus tool. So I have Nessus running on my own local system, as you can see, and the same lab or the same Nessus tool can be installed on your system as well. And you can understand how to use this Nessus tool. Okay. This is a very important tool that is used in organizations to perform scan. Login. As you can see, this is how a vulnerability scanning report looks like, where you can scan the network system, you can scan all the devices in the organization and get a report of how many vulnerabilities exist on each and different machine. Okay, so this is all known as automated vulnerability scan. We should be running and we should be learning in the scanning phase. Okay, but again, as I've told you, in ethical hacking, it mostly comprises of different tool sets or tools where you try to understand how these tools work and how do you perform automated testing as well as manual testing. Okay. After that comes the gaining access part. Okay. Now, once I've done information gathering, once I've performed scanning, last part is trying to get access to the target system. Okay. And this consists of a very huge list of different topics. And these are the topics as follows. Okay. So the first topic that will be we'll be working on in gaining access is system hacking, where in the system hacking class, I'll be showing you how you can crack or bypass any Windows operating system password. So whether that be a Windows 7 operating system or a Windows 8 or Windows 10, whatever operating system it be, I'll show you how you can crack the password of that operating system. Or if it is too strong to crack, how do you bypass it? How do you completely delete the password and get access to the system? After that, we have malware attacks, where malware is nothing but malicious software which can cause harm to your organization system, okay, or your personal systems as well. Now, in malwares, there are different categories. like viruses, worms, trojans, backdoors. Well, and in this class, we'll practically learn how malwares are created and how do you defend yourself from these different kinds of malwares. Then there's network pen testing, where we learn all the different kinds of network attacks, like man-in-the-middle attack, denial of service attack, how to hack Wi-Fi routers. All this will be covered in the network pen testing classes. Then we learn about social engineering, where I'll show you how hackers can create fake replica login pages, okay, or fake login site, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, or WhatsApp login page, or whatever it be. I'll show you how you can create these fake replica login sites and how do you get the passwords of other users from those login pages. Okay, then you'll have web application pen testing, where we learn how to hack any website. Okay, where you learn what are the different vulnerabilities on websites that exist and how do you manually test for those vulnerabilities. Okay, after that finally comes hacking mobile phones, where I'll show you how you can hack Android phones. Okay, whatever OS it be, Android 8, 9, 10, 11, how to hack an Android phone by using a malware attack. After gaining access, you have maintaining access. Well, I'll show you how you can maintain persistent connections of that. Okay, so if the user restarts the system or shuts it down and starts it again, you still need to maintain that connection with the target system. And that is known as maintaining access. Finally, after all this is done, we'll be going with reporting or clearing traces, or I'll show you how you can generate a report for all the steps taken, or how do you remove all the evidences. Okay, both the methods of white hat hacking as well as black hat hacking.
Sir, I have a little doubt. Cross-site
Yeah.
scripting, what's mean by cross-site scripting?
Cross-site scripting is where you'll be using JavaScript code. You'll inject JavaScript code into a website to actually attack the clients on the website.
Or Python also?
No, this is using JavaScript. In you have in websites, you use coding languages like HTML and JavaScript, right? So in cross-site scripting, we'll be using JavaScript code to attack on a target. If there's a vulnerability called cross-site scripting, using JavaScript, special JavaScript payloads, you try to attack that website. And on that website, whoever is connected
because
on that,
Java is a front language, no?
Yeah, it's a front-end language.
Okay.
So HTML is actually a front-end. JavaScript could be internally back-end as well.
Python also back-end.
Python is, again, you have no Python in web applications. Okay, you could use applets or programming, extensions of Python. But specifically, when you talk about web development, you don't use Python in that primarily. What you primarily use is HTML and JavaScript and CSS, cascading style sheets. Okay. So again, we'll be discussing about all that as well, primarily basics of CSS, basics of JavaScript, basics of HTML, when we go with web application pen testing. Okay. So again, if I've missed out any topic, the institute might be sharing this PDF file with you guys. Okay, because this contains a list of all the topics that will be covered. Now, since not everyone is belonging to the same computer background, what we do is we take 1 week of introductory classes. So all the prerequisites which are required, they're included in the course. So the first 1 week, we'll be learning about basics of networking concepts, like what are IP addresses, what are IPv4 addresses, what are public IP, what are private IP. Then we learn about Linux and Windows commands, and then we learn about virtualization. Because virtualization is where we'll be using a tool like VMware. Okay, VMware is very important for our ethical hacking course because we'll be running an operating system called Kali operating system. If I log in, oh, sorry, just a minute. As you can notice, this is a Kali operating system. This is the main operating system which we'll be using for our whole course because this comes pre-installed with all the different tools required for ethical hacking or pen testing. Okay, and this is the Linux-based operating system. So in order to install this Linux operating system, you need a tool like VMware. Okay, so I'm running a tool like VMware on my Windows 11 operating system. On that VMware application, inside that VMware application, I'm running a Kali machine, as you can see. So all this is known as virtualization, where on one physical machine, you're running multiple instances of virtual machines. Okay, and you'll be learning about this as well in the classes. Okay, so we'll learn one second. So we learn about the basic concepts of virtualization. We learn about the basic concepts of Linux and Windows commands. And then after all the basic concepts are done, then we'll be going with the information gathering, scan, and all that. Okay. This is clear, guys?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Shubham, any questions or doubts? Hello. Shubham, I hope you can hear me. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's do a very small practical, guys. Just a moment. 1 second, guys. Just getting a call. Yeah, anyways, I'm so sorry for that. Now let's do a small practical, okay, where I'll show you how hackers or anyone, even you, can try to get information of others' devices by using any random link on the internet. So as an example, let's say I take a YouTube link. Okay. What I'll do is I'll show you how you can use a YouTube link or any random link on the internet and use that link to get information of other devices or other targets or your friends or whatever it be, whoever it be. Okay. For example, let's say I take this video. Okay. Just some random video on the internet, just some random link on the YouTube. I'll copy this link and I'll be sharing the same link, but I'll modify a bit and I'll send it to you and I'll show you from that link what kind of information I can get about your device. Again, guys, there's nothing malicious or there's nothing harmful in this. I'm just trying to show you how hackers can use any link on the internet and try to convert it into a different link and get information. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using the same link and I'll just use a different website called Grabify. Has anyone heard about this website called Grabify? This is an IP logger site. Okay, don't worry if you have not heard about it. I'll explain what this site does. Okay, all you need to do on this web page in this Grabify IP logger is you need to enter this any random link. Okay, which is a working link. Okay, it should be accessible. So copy that link. It collects IP. Yeah, sure. Not just IP, but also device information as well. So let me show you. Yeah, you're perfectly right. There's nothing wrong with that. It collects IP. As the name itself suggests, it's an IP logger. Okay, which is nothing but logging your IP address. But one thing is not just your IP. It can log a lot of other details as well. And let me show you what. Okay, so I'll just copy this email now. I mean, sorry, this link now. Control C. And I'll paste it over here. And I'll click on create URL. Once I click on create URL, this will generate a new URL. Now, one second. Yeah, as you can see over here, it says this is the original URL and this is the new URL. And it has something like grabify.link. Now, if this seems a bit suspicious, you can change the link if you want to. Okay, depending on your target. If your target is interested in, let's say, dating sites, you could select a dating link. If your target is interested in gaming sites, you could select a gaming link, depending on the target. So let's say I select the Spotify link. Okay, or Spotify, similar to Spotify. I can add a path as well. Let's say invite or join or whatever. Okay, and this is my new link, completely safe, HTTPS. Now I can copy this link and I can send it to a target. In a real-time scenario, I can just upload it as my WhatsApp status or my Instagram story or anywhere where people can access it. And once they click on it, they'll get the same YouTube page. So let me just show you as a practical. I'll share this in the chat box, guys. You can click on it. Again, guys, nothing malicious, nothing wrong. If you want me to, I'll open this on my web page as well. So if you notice, I'll just copy this link and I'll open it in a new tab. Okay. And if you notice over here, this is the same video, Kalandar Munawar. And in this tab also, I should be getting the same. Let's wait for a while. As you can see, it is accessing the browser and I got the same page, Kalandar Munawar. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can go back to my Grabify and I can check if anyone has clicked on that link. If anyone clicks it, you'll be getting it in the results tab. So right now, okay, there are two people who have clicked on it. One is from India, New Delhi. Again, locations might not be accurate, guys. Don't worry about that. But over here, if you notice, this is my device. Okay, it shows now. Let's see what kind of information I've got. So firstly, it shows me my exact IP address. So if I open up a new tab and search for what is my IP, it will show me my public IP, the IP that I'm getting from my internet service provider, my Airtel provider. If you notice, 122.162.61.215. And that is the exact IP I have. Location might not be accurate, guys. Don't worry about that. But it also shows me my screen device, my screen size, my processor, my browser, my operating system, okay, and the ISP. Similarly, one more guy has clicked on it. Okay, and this is their information. This is their exact public IP. This is their screen size. This is the browser they use. And they're using a Windows 8.1 operating system on their device. And they're using ISP National Internet Park. Okay. Now, from this information, a hacker would know what kind of operating system the target is using. Okay, Shubham. Hi. Okay, this is your IP. Okay, perfect. No problem, guys. Okay. But again, this is a basic practical of an information gathering step where you can send a link and you can try to gather information about the target. Like what is their IP, what is their screen size, what operating system they are using, what browser they are using. And depending on this, I can create a Windows malware for the target. So since I know the user is using Windows 8.1, I'll search for vulnerabilities or exploits or attacks on Windows 8.1. And then in the next link which I generate, I'll release a malware on the 8.1. And if he clicks on it again, I'll get access to his device as well. Okay. Now, this basic step is just information gathering, where you can use any random link on the internet and copy and paste it in Grabify. what Grabify will do is it will log the IP. So whoever clicks on it, their device information first goes to Grabify. In Grabify, it will capture all that information and display it to the attacker like this. And after it displays it, it will redirect the victim to the original website, which is the YouTube or whatever link that you select. Is this clear, Shubham and Salman, of what is happening here? Yeah. So you can use this on your friends as well. Again, this very simple, practical, no harm, no problem. There's nothing malicious in it. Just as a basic information gathering practical. In the course, we'll be learning much more advanced things, okay, of how to get information about organizations as well. Okay. Now, again, as I've mentioned, guys, this ethical hacking course is almost around for 1 month. Okay, where we'll be taking class from Monday to Friday every day for 1 hour. Okay, and if you have any queries regarding the timings or regarding the fee, please contact the institute, DURGASOFT. If you have any technical queries, like in your questions in the course or questions in any of these topics or any further technical questions, you can contact me directly on my number. Okay, this is my number. If you want to make a note, you can make this. Okay, or I'll send it in the chat as 76800696768. Yep. Okay. So any questions, guys, before I end the session? That's it for the demo, nothing more. If you have any questions, you can let me know.
Sir, I'm learning Python course also in your institute. This course, how helped me for my future career?
It could help you in developing malware. So since you're learning Python, we have a topic called malware development. If you notice over here, we're using Python. Okay, where I'll be sharing you the resources for understanding how attackers can create malware using Python program. So you can use the knowledge in this course to start generating malwares. Okay, understand what is malware development. Because malware development is a very important field in cybersecurity, and it's a very advanced field as well. People who develop malwares are paid very huge high amount of salaries because they know how malwares work in the core foundational coding language. Okay, and they also know what needs to be implemented to prevent one from different malware attacks. So you could understand, or you could use the malware knowledge in the malware development part in the cybersecurity field. Okay, so again, coding language can be used anywhere in any field. So learning Python is going to be helpful for you in any kind of field, whether it be in cybersecurity or development or website or anything. Okay.
Okay.
Shubham, any questions on your end? Shubham, no, we don't need to learn separately any kind of a language. There's no requirement for any development code. But if you wanna, you can learn Python. Okay. Other than that, if whatever concepts are required for this concept of malware development in this, I'll be sharing the resources myself. So you don't need to learn Python separately from anywhere. Whatever is required is included in the course itself. But as a plus point, if you want to learn separately, after you're done with the course as well, you can learn Python. It is an important programming language. Okay. And you can learn it from different resources or organizations or institutes. Or if you want to find free resources, you can search for a website called Solo Learn. Any other questions, guys, before I end the session?
No, sir.
Okay, so yeah, that's it. Nothing more for the demo session. I hope you liked it. I hope the audio was clear and I hope everything was fine. So yeah, if you have liked the demo session, guys, please contact the institute. If you have any technical queries, you can contact my number.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for attending the session. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Okay, sir.